Hello guys and welcome to the FPL Duo. We are here for the deadline stream for Game Week 18. So obviously Merry Christmas everyone. I hope you're having a lovely holiday period and obviously Happy Boxing Day as well today. So obviously the football is back in a quick swing during the winter period of holiday season. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Obviously I'm dressed for the occasion. But hopefully you guys have had a lovely Christmas, whatever your plans have been, and hopefully you have a very good New Year also. But before we get into this video, guys, make sure you give this video a like, subscribe for more, and leave a comment down below if you wish. Now, Huss is unable to join us for this deadline stream as he's on a very important occasion. He's on his way to Liverpool to watch the game at Anfield against Leicester, so keep an eye out. You might see him in that match by a slim chance, but yeah, he's on his way there currently to watch that game, so he won't be here for the deadline stream, but he should be here for the knee-jerk reaction. So without further ado, let's get into this stream. So as you can see on the screen, that is my current team at the moment that I'm going with for Game Week 18. So in goal, I've got Fabianski, back three of Virgil, Van Dijk, Timber, and Wan-Bissaka. Midfield four of Palmer, Sarr, Mitoma, and Salah. And the front three, João Pedro, Jackson, and Chris Wood. On the bench, we've got Vardy, Marston, Johnson, Fies, and Keane. And that is what we are rolling with at the moment. So, because there is a slight change in the team, just to let you guys know, obviously, I did make an early move because I did have Saka in my team. Due to his injury or his torn muscle to his hamstring, I took him out early to avoid the price drops from him. So I took Saka out and I bought Sarr in for him in place. So that it was one free transfer. So I have no more free transfers. I only had one for this game week, and I used it on taking out Saka and bringing Sarr in. So I've already made my moves. So I'm sitting comfortably for the next couple of minutes. So it feels a relief to not be obviously making tough decisions for a week. I can relax and enjoy and take your answers and questions, obviously, in your opinions in the chat as well. So yeah, nice relaxing last few minutes of the deadline. But yeah, obviously the Salah captain is confirmed. There's no way I'm going elsewhere. Still Perma Salah captain as long as Mr. Reliable can still return me points, which like he did last week. It's hard to put the armband on someone else, and especially with the fixture Liverpool have, it's a good one to obviously play the captaincy over him elsewhere. So yeah, and obviously the vice is on Chris Wood. I am liking the defence this week though. I think they've all got nice fixtures, and hopefully Fabianski and the Wan-Bissaka -4 I took last game week pays off now in this fixture, which I'm quite excited to look forward to. The only thing I'm not really keen on is the Brighton double up. It's really not worked out. But when that wild card comes in Game Week 19, you're going to see a lot of changes to the team. I've briefly formulated a team from a draft, but you guys will see it, I think, momentarily in the coming days to Game Week 19. But let's take a few of your comments in the chat as they are rolling in. So first one from Azuma. Hello, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you, Azuma. Hope you had a good one. Play Rodgers or Wissa. So Wissa has obviously Brighton, and Rodgers has, if I can get the fixtures up, because I don't know who Aston Villa have. So Aston Villa have Newcastle, which is an away fixture. And the way Newcastle play at the moment, it's very hard to differ, especially Isaac at the moment. I think I would probably still play Rodgers. I felt like he was really electric against Man City, and it's hard to bench a player when he's had a good game week from last week, like he did. So yeah, I think I would play Rodgers slightly over Wissa, even though Rodgers has arguably a tougher fixture than Wissa does. But I did like the form of Rodgers in that game, and I think that was the week where Aston Villa didn't have a midweek fixture either. So they're more revitalized, I think, from that game. So yeah, I'll probably go Rodgers over Wissa. And good morning, Hizami. Merry Christmas. They say Salah always blanks on Boxing Day. Any thoughts? Well, to avoid superstition, I think despite that, I'm still going to captain him, even if he does blank, because I think a lot of us are still going to go Salah, especially after the 42 pointer he got last week. If you had the captain over him, it's very hard to go against Salah on the run of form he's currently on at the moment. I think that's like 11 double hauls for him, and it's his best season he's had with Liverpool in terms of goals and assists. He's broken a record for double-digit haul for goals and assists in the season, and yeah, he's breaking all the records at the moment. I'm not looking to go elsewhere. I mean, the only person I'd probably look to go to if it wasn't Salah would be Palmer, but I think Palmer has a tough fixture against Fulham. Defensively, Fulham are really solid, hard to break down. So I don't think Palmer will get much out of that game. Honest, I don't see many goals in that game. Maybe 2-1. But I see more goals with obviously that Liverpool game when they're against Leicester because they conceded a lot. They're without their main goalkeeper as well, Hermanson. He is doubt. So that puts more faith in me going with Salah because I see more goals for Liverpool. And despite him blanking on Boxing Day, I think he could possibly break that streak today. And by the way, where's Huss? He's missed again. Well, Huss is on a special assignment. He's on his way to Liverpool at the moment, going to see the game against Leicester at home. So he's on his way to Anfield as we speak to obviously see that game at Anfield. And yeah, that's where he is at the moment. That's why he's missing today. But he should be back for the knee jerk, and we'll probably tell his experience he had. Just, depending on how well the game goes, I'm sure Liverpool win. And hopefully there's a lot of goals there for him to celebrate over there. Dan Man says, hi, Jordan. Merry Christmas, Dan. Odegaard, Trent, and JP, or Diaz, Cucurella, and Jackson. If I had to go with... I'd probably go with the more exciting one. I think I'll go with Diaz, Cucurella, and Jackson, just because Diaz is in there. I think he's a good option as a triple Liverpool. If you're going tripling up on Liverpool, I think Diaz is a great option, I think, going forward, especially with Leicester at home. I think that's one of those fixtures where he could possibly thrive again after his 2 goals against. If I got who's that was, yeah, obviously Tottenham. But yeah, I'll probably go with the second option in your question over Odegaard, Trent, and JP. Jenny Berry had hi. Thoughts on starting Henderson or Flecken? I would probably start Henderson. I think because of Flecken keeping 1 clean sheet this season, doesn't fill me much faith that he'll be keeping many clean sheets this season. So I think Henderson is the better goalkeeper. I've seen him in terms of saves, he's more prolific than obviously Flecken is. So I think I'll start Henderson over him. And this is interesting. I'm thinking to go Palmer. That is very interesting. Yeah, Palmer's he's going to be a very differential captain, I think, this week because a lot of people are going to captain Salah just because of what happened last week and with the fixtures. It's going to be hard to pivot, I think, between Salah and Palmer. I think everyone's a dead cert on captaining Salah this week, but maybe a few of us might go Palmer just to be maybe different, and hopefully Palmer scores better than Salah. But yeah, with the form of Salah at the moment, it's very hard to look past that to go for another captain option this week. But if you do, it could work out very well. And it's true, Leicester under RVN is leaking goals right, left, right, and centre. Yeah, that is exactly why this is like the best fixture I think for Salah for this week in terms of captaincy. I'm not looking elsewhere. You probably could have looked at obviously Saka if he was not injured. He's got his figure at home. He's probably arguably a better choice. Well, not better, but equally as good. But because of Palmer got Fulham at home, it's still hard to sway towards that direction. But yeah, Leicester are in a bit of trouble from an injury perspective and obviously letting goals in. Harry Davis, hope you guys had a good day yesterday. Yeah, Merry Christmas, Harry. Hope you had one as too. Only dilemma is between João Pedro or Rodgers. If I'm honest, I don't think that is a dilemma, Harry. I think just play Rodgers because if we look quickly at João Pedro's record, whenever you brought him in, say you brought him in game week 13 before he double hauled in 12 and 11, he's had 1 assist in the last 5 game weeks and has no goals, despite playing 90 minutes in Crystal Palace in the West Ham game. But even that, Brighton only scored 2 goals in that game, and that weren't from João Pedro at all. So not only have Brighton lost form, they're also not scoring as many goals as they used to be. And if they are, it's not coming from a player like João Pedro. It's coming from some random or someone we don't really own either, because I own Matoma and João Pedro, and I've not had a single thing from either of them. Apart from that assist from obviously him in game week 14. And that's it. I would sell João Pedro at this point. I would literally, if I had nothing else to do in my team, I would sell him. I mean, if Saka weren't injured, João Pedro was going to be the main priority, I think, for me. But yeah, I think play Rodgers. I think Harry. And this is the moment where probably João Pedro scores and gets a nice score. But for me, it's got to be Rodgers. His House is watching the game. I think it's a curse. Definitely Captain Palmer. Please don't tell House I said this. That's all right, Zami. Your secret's safe. Hopefully, it's not a curse. But if it is, it's probably because I'm me captaining Salah. But I think I broke that from last week, as he did return big whilst I captained him. So I think it's safe to say that my curse is broken for captaincy blanks at last. As long as I stick with Salah, I think, and not go elsewhere. Jenny Berry, thoughts on Saka to Martinelli or Odegaard? I mean, it's early to say because that 5-1 victory from Arsenal looked really good. Variance in goal scorers than what we normally see. But yeah, I wouldn't mind taking a punt because Saka's going to be out for quite a while, so you can experiment with obviously replacing him for another midfielder for Arsenal or going elsewhere for another team, another player in the team. But yeah, I don't hate the move. I mean, it will be interesting to see who's on penalties too, because if Odegaard is on it, then I would side towards going for Odegaard if he's going to take the penalties over Saka while he's off injured. So yeah, I'll probably go Odegaard in that sense. And thank you, Dan, for that. I've already done Saka to Odegaard. I could do Cucurella or Kirkes to Trent or do Ahmad to Diaz or roll transfer. You know what? Doing Ahmad to Diaz is an exciting move because the triple up from Liverpool, I don't hate it for this fixture. The only thing is his minutes risk because after this week, Liverpool play again in very short turnaround. I just want to see that. Yeah, obviously they played Thursday. Obviously today on Boxing Day, but then they play again on Sunday, 3 days from now. So Diaz could possibly be rotated between one of those fixtures. More likely, obviously the fixture afterwards, which is against. Let me go back up again. It's against West Ham, so he could be benched for West Ham, but play against Leicester at home. I still don't hate the move though. I'm thinking of bringing in Luis Diaz myself for -4 this week, just to think about it. I'm more tempted to bring Luis Diaz in now, just because I'm not liking my Brighton assets and I want to get rid of him. Plus, I'm wildcard 19 anyway, so I'm going a bit crazy, I think, in terms of that. But I mean, you've already done Saka to Odegaard, which is good, especially if Odegaard's on penalties, like I mentioned. Doing Cucurella or Cortez to Trent. I'll probably keep Cucurella, but I'll probably in the long run, you might want to do Kirkes to Trent if you want a Liverpool asset in there for defence, because I think he'll still be good. Or do Ahmad to Diaz. I would do Ahmad to Diaz, I think, as well, instead of rolling the transfer. I probably would do that. I would be tempted. Oncar, goalkeeper for Bruggen or Henderson? I would pick Henderson. More reliable goalkeeper, I think. Brighton, I cannot trust with clean sheets. They haven't kept many, and they haven't kept any in the last few game weeks, I think. So let me just check when Brighton's last clean sheet was. So, blimey. Their last clean sheet, I believe, was in game week 8. Yeah, in game week 8. It's no surprise that Brighton do not keep many clean sheets. They didn't last season, they haven't this season. So I would go Henderson easily. Isaac is essential now. FOMO not getting him this week. Nah, there's no FOMO. I think with a player that's on great form, I feel like I've missed the boat on Isaac already from all the points he's had, especially after his hat trick last week. I feel like if I get him in now, he's not going to return for me at all. Because that's how it's gone so far for me this season. I brought a player in that's had a good run of form. And after that, he hasn't returned me anything. So, yeah. I'm trying to get away with not going with him and seeing how it goes. Because eventually he's going to blank. And it will turn. But, yeah. He's quite expensive as well. And the way my money is spread at the moment, I don't think I could afford him to replace with Jackson, because he's the most expensive forward that I can actually reach to get him. Jenny Bates to start Pedro or Kirkes. Pedro Porro or Kirkes. I'll probably start Kirkes. Spurs are not a fan of defensively. Even Pedro Porro's attacking threat is not really that there. And they've had a lot of injuries as well. Van der Ven and obviously the other defender who's injured. I believe that's Romero. I could be wrong. But there's 2 centre backs. Obviously injured, not very good for Spurs. So yeah, I would avoid defence for Spurs. I'll go with Kirkes to start. Elika, I hope you're all doing well. Yeah, Merry Christmas, Elika. It would be peak FPL if Salah Blanc stays still captain, you know. Yeah, that's it. I mean, I don't think the captaincy really matters if you go for Salah today, because a lot of people are going to go for him anyway. And the worst case is he does blank. But unless a lot of people have captained like Palm or someone else, it ain't really going to affect our ranks really. But I'll be very surprised if Salah Banks is against a fixture against Leicester at home when he scored 2 goals and 2 assists against Spurs, which is you would say a much tougher fixture to score in, but due to the way Spurs' defence is working at the moment, it's not hard at all. And Hizami, please like the stream, guys, and share them. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel as well. Yeah, thank you, Hizami, for the shout out for that on the channel. Yeah, guys, make sure you press that like button down below and subscribe for more. Make sure those notifications are turned on so you know when we next stream. And Eric, I'm really leaning towards Son as a Saka replacement regardless of his fixtures. I'm just not a fan of Son at the moment. I think Postecoglou is in a lot of trouble, and I think very soon, if Spurs don't turn this around, he's potentially going to be sacked. Maybe before New Year's Day at this way it's going. But I mean, you got to weigh into consideration Spurs have a lot of injuries at the back, so it does look it's a more tougher job, I think, for him to manage that with what he's got. So ain't many replacements that you could potentially fill in that are the same level. But yeah, if we look at Son's record so far in the season, 5 goals, 6 assists. Not a goal and 2 assists against Southampton, that 5-0 win. But got 0 against, obviously, Liverpool. 0 points. He played 81 minutes as well. I mean, he is a good player to look at in terms of fixtures, and not so bad. It's just he could be a minute's risk. He hasn't really played full 90 minutes. He did play against Chelsea, obviously 81 against Liverpool, but like in the it's interesting with Son. I mean, it's around Saka's price range, so it makes it easier to go to replace him from Saka. But yeah, I'm not sure on the because Saka's out for a long time, so I don't know if Son is a viable option. He could be a good viable option. Nice differential because I don't think many people will look to Son due to his misform. But yeah, we'll see. Harry Davies, is there a forward under 7 million that's worth putting in for João Pedro then? For under 7 million, let me have a look at the options because I feel like there is a lot of potential options you can go for. Well, under 7 mil. Now, this is a bold one, but you could look to go for Duran for Aston Villa at 5.9 million. He scored 3 goals in the last 3 game weeks, and I believe that's a tally of 7 goals for him just so far this season. It doesn't feel like that because he has been benched a lot, but even when he's off on the bench and comes on, he does normally score off the bench, and he's not a bad player for bringing him to do that, even though he doesn't play full nailed minutes. If Duran was a nailed minute player, I think he would definitely be a very good replacement, but he's a risky one. But he is scoring goals this season despite not playing 90 minutes. Other one possibly could be Evan Nielsen. I mean, he hasn't scored in a while either since game week 13. But he did get 3 assists in that game, so he could potentially be a player you could look at 6 million. Raul Jimenez, I mean, he was benched last game against Southampton at home. Very surprised at that. 5.5 million. His fixtures are a bit not really great, but Raul Jimenez has scored 5 goals and 2 assists this season. But if you're looking for like a Cunha replacement, maybe Strand Larsen, you could maybe step into the limelight when obviously Cunha is suspended. Potentially. Or there's Wissa. You could go for him. I think Wissa is probably the best option on the 7 million you could go for obviously Brentford. 8 goals, 2 assists this season. Yeah, I think Wissa is the one that you could potentially replace João Pedro with. Raul Jimenez or to Jesus or Hizak. I'll probably do Raul Jimenez to. I'll probably do it to Jesus. I think that's a good fixture where he could potentially thrive in. I think I'd be more excited going for Jesus rather than Isaac because he's pretty much had a good run of form. Isaac, I'm waiting for a blank to happen very soon because every good thing comes to an end. So I think I'll go for Jesus. Maybe you can jump on him while he's still obviously relatively low owned, and hopefully there's more returns coming from him for Arsenal. In the absence of Saka as well, I think he'd be a good replacement, and he showed himself last week what he could do when he starts. January bench Strand Arsenal, Chris Wood. I'll probably bench Strand Arsenal. I really like Chris Wood against Tottenham, especially at home fixture, just because if Tottenham make a mistake, which they do a lot. Whenever Chris Wood is involved with someone making a mistake, he usually gets the job done and scores. So if there's any wrong error that Spurs do at the back and Chris Wood takes advantage of it, that is one of his qualities of where he scores. Is from mistakes that the opposition do make. So definitely would play Chris Wood in that and bench Strand Larson. And the Smith Rowe replacement. Again, I would probably say Sarr. If you're looking to go different, Ismail Sarr. I've got him in my team. He's got Bournemouth away. I think he's been electric in the last 2 game weeks. I've liked the look of him. His goal threat has improved very much. So yeah, I'll be looking to him as a replacement. He's around that area of Smith Rowe's price as well, so you don't have to spend much more money to obviously get Sarr in, because I think Sarr is 5.8, while Smith Rowe is like 5.5 or 6, I think. Actually, Smith Rowe. Oh, 5.4. Yeah, so yeah, it's a little bit more expensive, 0.4 more. But yeah, I'll probably go with Sarr. And he's using triple captain on Salah today. Interesting, because I thought you would save it for the double game week that Salah has later down the season, because obviously the Everton Liverpool game was suspended, so you will have a double game week where you could possibly triple captain Salah then. But if you want to use it today, if it's going to score big again, then yeah, good luck with your triple captain. And down the message, you're going to do score predictions. Yeah, I can squeeze in score predictions near the end, Dan, because obviously my team is locked and set and ready. So yeah, I wouldn't mind doing the score predictions near the end of the stream. Hamza says Kulusevski or Madison. Now, this is a difficult decision because I like both options. And Madison's on a good run. He's had 3 goals in the last 2 game weeks. That's 8 goals and 5 assists for him this season. Despite his minutes being all over the place, he is still a goal scorer. One of the main goal scorers for Spurs. Kulusevski, on the other hand, again, 3 goals in the last 3 game weeks. Still a decent option. But he is playing more minutes over Madison each game. For a safe pick, I would side towards Kulusevski, because he's getting more minutes. He has more time on the pitch, obviously, score than Madison does. Madison could substitute off at any minute. Obviously, in the second half, more likely. Later in the second half, depending on how Spurs are getting on in their match. If they're struggling, he might take it off. If they're doing well, it might stay on. It all depends on that. But I think Kulusevski in either action is safer to go with. So I think I'll go towards him. I think he's more better on the ball, stronger physically. But at the same time, Madison, if he gets the chance to shoot, he will shoot and have those goal opportunities towards him. But I think Kulusevski is a safer option. Avas replacement for Strand Larson and Saka. Well, for Saka replacements, there's Sarr, Son, Bruno Fernandes, Kulusevski, Madison, Luis Diaz. I quite like that one. If you're looking for a 1 week punt, Bowen. Got Southampton away this week. But any of those options for Saka, I think, are great to go with long and short term. In terms of Strand Larson, depends how far you can stretch, but if you can stretch it, Isaac, he's still relatively a good one to go for. Even Duran for Aston Villa, even though he's not a nailed player and risk for minutes, he's still scoring quite a few goals for Aston Villa now over Watkins. So again, he's another replacement that you can look forward to going with. Jesus, in the absence of Saka, he looked pretty good the last game week. Chris Wood, I would say as well. He's got Tottenham at home. Tottenham just conceded 6 against Liverpool. So he's a good replacement for Strand Larsen too, I feel like. And yeah, there's a couple of options there. Abbas, hopefully that helps with your decision making and the options there available. Harry Davies, Duran and Whistler is tempting. Already have Isaac and Jesus. Yeah, Duran is very tempting. He's interested because a lot of the goals have come from Duran rather than Watkins for Aston Villa this season, which is a big turnaround since he joined obviously the club, Duran. Because he is sharing minutes with him, but he also is taking opportunities more than Watkins is this season. And price difference as well. Watkins is so more expensive, but I feel like it's not workload for Watkins this season because of that. But for Duran, because he's cheaper, scoring more goals, he seems like the better option to go with if you're looking for an Aston Villa attacker. And obviously, Wissa ticks along nicely, I think, for Brentford. Because normally he does score alongside Mbeumo in matches. And Brighton they do have Brighton as well, so they haven't kept a clean sheet since game week 8. So Brentford are looking to probably score in that one, and Wissa could be a tempting option to go with in that fixture. And you already have Isaac and Jesus as well, so that quadruple, those quadruple players could be good in the team. You're welcome, Jenny. Have a great week also. Carl, would you sell Cunha or João Pedro to bring any of Isaac Jesus for Wood? I have 2.2 in the bank. I think I would definitely bring in Wood if I didn't have him in my team already. I think this is a good week to bring Chris Wood in when he has Tottenham at home. And Tottenham have issues at the back, as we saw against Liverpool. They have injury issues. 2 centre-backs are out. And they have no goalkeeper starting. Well, they have a starting goalkeeper, but it's Forster, which he's not been great as a replacement for Vicario. So my priority would be to bring Chris Wood in for this week. Could be a nice differential captain to go for as well, if you're not looking to go for Salah either. So that is one to look out for. But yeah, I'll probably bring in Chris Wood as a top priority. But I would probably look to go with Jesus alongside Wood and maybe Isaac. Maybe have Isaac, Jesus, and Wood up front. That would be a good triple up on the front 3 forwards, I think, if you can afford it. But if you can't, Chris Wood for me. So yeah, guys, we have less than half an hour to go for this deadline stream, so it is flying by. But yeah, I made my moves already. Obviously, I took Saka out for Sarr earlier this week, so I have no more action to do. I have been tempted to take I can't believe I'm saying this. Take another -4 to bring in Luis Diaz for Matoma this week. I've been so tempted to be doing that now, and it's a good fixture, I think, for Luis Diaz. You know what? I might think to do it, guys. I might take a -4 to bring Luis Diaz in. I can't believe I'm saying this again. I think I've taken 3 -4s. Well, if I take this one, it will be 3 -4s this week. So let me just share my screen with you. And yeah, where's Matoma? I've not been impressed with Matoma. Nor any Brighton asset from it. It was a big mistake bringing them in. I mean, he's had 1 goal, and that was against Southampton. I can't remember when I brought him in. I think I brought him in when it was game week 14. So he gave me nothing, Matoma. So I don't really expect anything against Brentford either. But yeah, let me zoom out a bit. I think the -4 is worth it, I think, this week, though. I think I need a green arrow. I've had 5 reds in a row. This has got to be the week I get a green arrow, surely. Like, around my current rank at the moment, it's going to be hard to get a red arrow, I feel like, at 4.7 million. But yeah, I am very tempted at taking that -4. I think it's exciting as well because at least I've got Liverpool cover. They score a lot of goals against Leicester. which I do see happening. Yeah, I can't afford him. So double check. I have a lot of money. So I could bring in Luis Diaz in. Triple up Liverpool. Hopefully they have a big score in that game. Harry Davis seems he's really good this week. Whenever this happens, I tend to have a bad game week, so hopefully I get one last Christmas present and have a good game week. Yeah, it feels like I haven't had a good game week since game week 1. I think they've been a bit average, mediocre. I mean, last week was good because Salah did return, but Salah was my only return last game week. Without him, I had no points at all. He was the only player that returned in my team. So I'm hoping this week it should be a good week where I could feel like it's been a great game week in terms of players and that. Because I'm surprised Liverpool haven't been rotating their forwards. Only thing I have against Diaz. Yeah, there hasn't been much rotation, but I feel like there will be this week. Because if we look at the fixtures for Liverpool, they have a very short turnaround. There's a 3-day period where they do play one after the other. So they play Leicester today, but they're 3 days from now when they play on Sunday at West Ham. You might see Luis Diaz rotated for that one. So bear that in mind. Make sure you have you might come on for that game anyway still, because that's what he has done. He's played about 20 minutes or so minutes when he has been benched. So yeah, expect Luis Diaz to be rotated, I think, against West Ham away, potentially. Hopefully not against Leicester at home, though. That would be a big blow if he is rotated in that game. I doubt it, though. I think it's the game week 19 game where I'm wildcarding anyway. So if I bring him in for this week and he scores big, then hopefully that'll make up for the -4 I'm about to take for him. You're relying on West Ham clean sheet. Yeah, I absolutely am this week. But Wan-Bissaka does have attacking threat, and because it's Southampton as well, West Ham are going to play higher, as most teams do, against that Norwich United team who's conceded the most. So maybe for something more than a clean sheet for Wan-Bissaka at least. Maybe an assist. Or if you could even score for me on Boxing Day, that would be even more delightful. Hani says, "Hey guys, I've got Salah, Saka, Palmer, Enzo, Matoma, Jackson, Cunha, Daka. I'm willing to get rid of Saka for Trossard, then Daka for Jesus. But I could also get Isaac. Question is, Jesus or Isaac? I think if you're going a more reliable pick, I think Isaac is the one to go for. But I mean, I did like Jesus in the last game week as well. I thought Saka being out and also Jesus starting was quite different because I've not really liked Jesus as an option. Obviously, he's mostly bench most games, but he played 85, got a goal, 2 goals and an assist against Crystal Palace at 5-1 win, and he has Ipswich at home next. He could be a good option to go for in the absence of Saka. So I'll probably go Jesus, see if we can jump on him early because I feel like Isaac that was a bit late. I should jump on him now because you've lost so many points on Isaac returning that I feel like now he's going to blank sooner or later now. But I think Jesus will outscore Isaac this week. Harry Davies, I had a terrible start since I went without Harden. Went from a 6 million rank to a 1.2 million rank now. Yeah, I think this season Harden's in my rank whether I've owned him or not owned him in my team. So when I didn't have him in my game week 1 team for like 4 game weeks, he ruined my rank then. And obviously when I did bring him in, and that's when he had that bad period of really bad form. And obviously that's what Man City are currently on at the moment. Terrible form. So yeah, Haaland's effectively ruined the season for me while I've owned him. I've not owned him at the same time. So back to back. So start one, bench two. From Barte, start one. Arad, he's got Wolves in, he's got Fulham, Kirk, he's got Crystal Palace, Mazraoui, he's got Wolves away. I would probably bench. Well, I'll bench Mazraoui. And I'll bench Kirkes. And bench Ahmad. And start Enzo. Against Fulham at home. Hamza, bench Mazraoui or Robinson. I'll bench. I'll bench Mazraoui, I think. Yeah. I'll bench Mazraoui. Ezra, Martinelli, Bone, or Diaz for mine, or Diaz for mine, or Saka for one of this, and Larson to Isaac. So Martinelli, Bone, or Diaz for -4, Saka for one of this, and Larson to Isaac. Martinelli, Bone, or Diaz for a -4, Saka for one of this, and Larson to Isaac. So you're going to replace Saka with either Martinelli, Bone, or Diaz for -4. Well, Larson to Isaac sounds good. So that part of it's fine. For the -4. Martinelli, Bone, or Diaz for -4. I'll probably bring in. Yeah, I'll probably bring Luis Diaz for the -4, along with obviously bringing in Isaac too. If that is the answer to the question. If not, please let me know. Carl, would you take a -4 to bring Diaz, Jesus, and Wood for Jackson, João Pedro, and Diallo? It looks like a good -8 to bring those 3 players in. I don't hate the -8 because Jesus, great switch at home. Chris Wood got Tottenham at home, and Jackson's got Fulham at home. So yeah, 3 home fixtures. Oh, sorry, no, Diaz, Jesus, and Wood. Sorry, my mistake. Jackson, João Pedro, and Diallo out. Yeah, but I hate to move. The Diaz, Jesus, and Wood look like great options to bring in for those 3 players. For -8 as well. I think that's really good. Jesus is owned by 5.5 and it's like 40%. Yeah, his owned has risen quite considerably, especially after his hat trick last game week. He's a bit of a threat, I think, in terms of my rank, because he's probably the player I fear the most for game week 18. Elika, if not Son, I might go for Odegaard. Also at home on Box D seems like 4-5-0 game in the making. Yeah, absolutely. I think most teams will want to get their 3 points, score big before the New Year's obviously is through. So end on a high for this year. And you never know, Odegaard, if Arsenal do get a penalty and Odegaard takes it, then there's more beneficial upside to that going for him as well. So yeah, that could be good picture for Odegaard. Thunder Elephant, I hope Jesus scoring again. Yeah, I mean, he looked good, 2 goals and 1 assist. I mean, he hasn't had a great season with Arsenal, considering he's been benched a lot. He's come on a few minutes, not really done much. But seems like he's starting games now in the absence of Saka. It could be quite a different period for him. And as in bench 1, Rodgers, Ahmad, Diaz, or is it? I'll probably bench Ahmad as one of the players in that selection. And Ezra, yeah, Isaac for sure for Larson, and then in between Diaz, Martinelli both were hit to replace Saka. Oh, right, okay, yeah. Then in that case, yeah, I'll still probably bring Diaz in for the hit to replace Saka out of those three options that you mentioned. So yeah, guys, there's not long left. Just under 15 minutes for this deadline stream. So make sure you get your transfer in team is saved, and you know the drill. So in terms of my thing, I think I've taken the -4 to bring Luis Diaz in, taking Matova out, which is looking more like I'm doing at the moment. I know I keep saying this, but I think this will be a high scoring game week. But last week was after Salah scoring, so I guess that does count. But yeah, just to mention is I'm worried about his minutes. Yeah, obviously Diaz's minutes will be managed, I think, in the next 2 game weeks because they have a 3-day period where they rotate normally Liverpool and they play West Ham 3 days from now. So you could see Luis Diaz being benched maybe as West Ham in game week 19. But I think he should play decent minutes against Leicester at home this week because he's had a good rest. So that could possibly be to possibly manage that, I think, in terms of Diaz's minutes if you do decide to go for him. But he's one of those players where he could score big. And if he does against Leicester at home, then I think that sort of justifies the move. He did score 2 goals against Tottenham, and again, similar to Leicester. Their defence is poor. They got a few injury issues. Without their main goalkeeper, so that could sprout opportunity for Luis Diaz again this game week. And Martinelli, does he even start? Martinelli, let's just see. Let's see how many minutes he's had. And that might give a better picture of whether he starts or not. I mean, he started the last 3 out of the last 4 game weeks. So he started against Man United, Everton, Crystal Palace. He was benched against Fulham away. But it's hard to say. I think he will start, at least this week against Ipswich at home. Yeah, I'll be very surprised if he's benched for that. And Carl, any captain suggestions? Salah, Palmer, Wood, or Jesus? Well, obviously Salah is the obvious one because after his last game week madness, he's going to be the most popular captain this week. But in terms of other captains that you might possibly look for instead of Salah, I like Chris Wood as an option. And I also like Jesus too because of their fixtures. But I feel like Palmer against Fulham at home is going to be a tough one. So I don't know about that captaincy. But Wood against Tottenham, a home fixture, is great. Because Spurs have 2 centre-backs injured, including their goalkeeper who's injured. And they have to play their second tier goalkeeper, who is Forster. And yeah, he's not really up to scratch for obviously the replacement at the moment for Spurs. So yeah, I think Wood is a good captaincy this week. I mean, Jesus as well against Ipswich at home. But I think I would side towards Wood as another captain this week. I mean, I would go for him as well, but because of where I'm at my rank, you would say I'm quite chasing my rank, but I'm going to be Salah this week anyway. But I still think he'll score big over a lot of players in the team. But yeah, I think Chris Wood or obviously Jesus are good captain options this week. But yes, not long, guys, not long. 8 minutes. 8 minutes to go. I think I'm going to do the move to bring Luis Diaz in. because it's Boxing Day. There's got to be some good luck, good fortune to come towards me, and hopefully it's this week. So here it is, guys. Matoma out for Luis Diaz in for -4, and I think that's my third consistent minus what I've taken, but hopefully this one pays off for the good. So here we go. It is confirmed and it's done. Let me just share my screen. And there he is. Luis Diaz is in the team. So the team is locked and ready for game week 18. Just to be picky, alright guys, I'm not benching Virgil van Dijk, I'm just putting him over there. And just putting Keane there. Just so all Liverpool assets are together. Doesn't really matter much, but I do like the team when the players are all in the same area of the starting 11. But yeah, that's the team, guys, locked and ready. I took him another -4. Saka out, Sarr in, Matoma out, Luis Diaz in, Salah captain, ready to go for game week 18. So yeah, that is the moves done and dusted. Let me pull up the fixtures, and we can do some score predictions because we haven't done that in a while. I feel like so. We're gonna have to do it on the Boxing Day just to see what fixtures we have lined up as well. So yeah, here we go, guys, on the screen there. These are the fixtures for game week 18 that we have lined up. So first one obviously is the early kickoff, Man City and Everton. That'll be a very interesting game. If Everton can hold off Chelsea and Arsenal, they could potentially beat Man City, and that's mad to say because Chelsea and Arsenal have been much better than Man City this season because Man City have struggled. I wouldn't be surprised that Everton actually win that game. It wouldn't surprise me at all the way Man City are going at the moment. So, and if Pickford keeps another clean sheet, that again will not surprise me. I'm sure Everton can hold off Man City in that fixture. I'm going to go for a crazy result in that one. I'm going to go 2-1 Everton, I think, as a prediction for that game. Because even though Man City at home, they've just been off. And against teams, it's just been, complete mess. Obviously, Zonda, thoughts on Martinelli. I mean, in terms of Martinelli, if he hasn't been the same player for 2 seasons where he's been like a potential prolific goal scorer, goal threat, attacking threat. He's not really been there for him. I'm not keen on Martinelli for money, so I'll probably prefer Odegaard because if Odegaard is the penalty taker in absence of Saka, then it's more worthwhile going for him. But I just not like the look of Martinelli. Even with Saka absency, it's still not for me a viable option for Arsenal. But it could be good for the Ipswich home fixture. But yeah, I think Everton will win that 2-1 against Man City, like Aston Villa did last week against them. Moving on to Bournemouth and Crystal Palace, in terms of that result, I think Crystal Palace will win this game against Bournemouth. I know Bournemouth won 3-0 against Man United. But I feel like Crystal Palace have found sort of a resurgence of some decent form again. So I'll probably go 3-1 Crystal Palace, I think. I think Bournemouth will score, but Crystal Palace will get the win away. Chelsea Fulham, this will be a tough game. I don't think there'll be many goals in this, and it's going to be tough for Chelsea to break Fulham down a bit. We know that Chelsea's defence, and obviously Sanchez, the goalkeeper, hasn't been the greatest this season, so they are vulnerable to letting in the goal too for Chelsea as well. We also have to consider. I'm going to go with 1-1. I think Chelsea Fulham. I think it'll be a draw. I know Chelsea need this win because they're the closest to Liverpool at the moment. So I think it will be a draw though. 1-1. It's going to be a tough game. Not many goals, but yeah, give it tough to get a win there. I think Chelsea. Newcastle, Aston Villa. Again, Aston Villa haven't been that great, but the bounce from winning against Man City last week looked very good. We haven't seen Aston Villa that played like that in a while. But Newcastle at home, going to be a tough game again. I see both teams scoring, but I think Newcastle do get the win again. And I think go for 3-0 Newcastle. Maybe Aston Villa don't score in this one. Yeah, I'm going to go 3-0 Newcastle at home. Hopefully for those clean sheet owners of Hall and obviously whatnot in Newcastle defence, that does happen. Not the Forest of Spurs. So I won't be surprised if Spurs have a downfall again of a loss because they're without a lot of key players in the team and they're struggling without them with the replacements. And not the Forest have been really good so far this season. I'm going to go with a 2-0 win for Nottingham Forest. I think that is I think that's what's going to happen. And obviously, less minutes to go, guys. So let me just get your questions in if there's any. So Abbas, Sarr or Bruno or Martinelli or Ahmed, which would prefer to play Saka? I think Sarr. And obviously to replace Martinelli or Ahmed, I'll probably say Sarr. Sarr for me. And Dan Mess, play Pickford, I think, over Kepa. Dan, definitely do that if you can. You have a few seconds left. And I just got to check if I've saved my team. Yeah, I have saved my team. Good. Yeah, cool. Play Aina or Robertson? Robertson. Definitely. Or actually, no, play Aina. Yeah, Aina. Against Spurs. It could be a good one. Got a massive double haul last week. Aina scoring the goal for Nottingham Forest. But yeah, that is deadline is up, guys. So hopefully you made all your decisions in time. Yeah, and hopefully you've got your team locked in and ready. And yeah, well done, Mr. Jobs. I'll fit that in very quickly. Let me just run through the rest of the fixtures and score predictions, and we'll probably wrap up the stream after going through these fixtures. So yeah, next one, Southampton and West Ham. Again, Southampton, the manager's been sacked. Nearly probably one's been approved of. Maybe there's a new manager effect for Southampton, but I think West Ham will still manage to get over the line for today's fixtures. And I'm thinking 1-0 West Ham. I don't think it'll be a high scoring game, maybe 1 goal difference in it. West Ham don't really score that many goals. And Southampton have conceded a lot despite that, but they don't score any either. So I will go 1-0 West Ham. Wolves, Man United. Interesting game because Man United come off a 3-0 loss to Bournemouth. It's hard to tell what I can say for this game, which way it will go, and what the score will be. So I'm just going to say draw. I'm just going to go for 2-2 because I don't know what the possible result could be from that Man United game because it's hard to read Man United when they play against a team. But again, Wolves manager Gary Neville was sacked, but maybe a new manager effect will help them in that game. Liverpool Leicester, hopefully for a big score. Now that I brought Luis Diaz in for the -4. So I'm going to go with 4-0 Liverpool. I think that's an easy prediction to make. I don't see Leicester scoring, and I see a lot of goals coming from Liverpool at home at Anfield. So the Friday fixtures, we've got 2. We've got Brighton and Brentford and Arsenal Ipswich. Brighton and Brentford, again, that seems like a game where both teams will probably score against each other. both have bad clean sheet records combined. I'm going to say 1-1 Brighton and Brentford. Definitely both teams will score, and that'll probably end up in a draw between them. Arsenal Ipswich, again, I see a massive score again. Could be one of the possible high-scoring games of this week on the Boxing Day fixtures, or on the Friday fixture after Boxing Day. I'm going to go with a 3-0 win for Arsenal and a clean sheet there for them too. So, yeah, that's my score predictions for this week. There's a lot of fixtures on today, obviously. We're very spoiled. We've got 8 fixtures to look at for today. So take your pick. I'll be very interested in that Man City Everton one for definite to see what happens in that game. But it won't surprise me if Man City do, in fact, draw or lose that game. Considering the form they're in at the moment is pretty poor. And Everton have managed to hold off Chelsea and Arsenal too. But I think that is it, guys. I think we'll wrap it up there. Deadline is up, and hopefully you're happy with your teams and selections. Dan says, I put Pickford in, but couldn't bring myself to hit the save button. It's City way. Yeah, I know, but we've seen City. I mean, I think a lot of people benched Rodgers and took him out because he had Man City, and he goes and scores a double haul 14 points. So it would not surprise me if Everton keep a clean sheet against Man City, if they kept one against Chelsea and Arsenal. It would not surprise me because it's been hard to keep off Chelsea, the way they've been scoring goals this season. And even Arsenal, they've been very good in the attack, with good attacking options to hold off both of those teams. And they're now playing a struggling Man City as well, who haven't really got much goals, and they haven't really had much chemistry in the last few games. It seems like the magic has run out for Man City. But it is an early fixture, so anything can happen in that one. And yeah, possibly Lewis could potentially score. Who knows what will happen, but it will be a good game to watch for the early kickoff for Boxing Day. But we'll wrap it up here, guys. Thank you, obviously, for watching. Let me just show my team on the screen so you know what my team looks like. So that is the team. Obviously locked in and ready for Game Week 18. But yeah, we're going to wrap it up here. Hopefully you have a nice Boxing Day if you have any plan. But if not, you're watching the football, then hopefully you have a good game week. Green Arrow, hopefully, and a high-scoring one. Fingers crossed for that. And hopefully your players do well. But yeah, take care, guys. We'll be here for the knee-jerk reaction, obviously, tomorrow. It potentially might be a late one because Arsenal kick off at 8:15. So it could be a late knee-jerk reaction. We'll have to see whether it's today or tomorrow. It possibly will be tomorrow, though, because both are late kickoffs. And obviously that would make the end of the game week more sufficient. But yeah, take care, guys. See you soon. And have a nice holiday period.